What is up, YouTube? My name is Jake. I like movies, and welcome back to another episode of Curtis Review. This episode, we're going to be talking about my top 5 anticipated movies of 2023. So without further ado, let's get into it. Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse, the much anticipated sequel to Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, is sure to be a good time. The first movie kind of came out of left field for me. I was back home in Kentucky visiting some friends. We went to see it. I was floored by this movie. In fact, Into the Spider-Verse is definitely up there for my favorite comic book inspired movies of all time. Across the Spider-Verse promises more of that wonderful animation, world expanding, and character building. I do wonder how far they can stretch their webbing.
Everybody gets one.
So I hope they can keep it grounded with that pitch-perfect sense of humor and self-awareness that the first film had. Phil Lord returns to work on the screenplay, continuing the strong writing from the first film, as we have new directors taking over the director's chairs: Joaquim Dos Santos, Kemp Powers, and Justin K. Thompson. Can't wait to see this one on big screen, and I'm even more excited to hear Issa Rae in the role of Jessica Drew, aka Spider-Woman. Next, we've got Barbie, directed by Greta Gerwig. Based on the famous doll franchise, but will definitely have some of that patented Gerwig innovation, creativity, and wit. Judging from the trailer, it looks like they're leaning into the ridiculousness as Barbie gets expelled from Barbie Land and ends up heading to the human world in search of true happiness. With Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling attached to this, the cast is stacked already. I'm a huge fan of her work, especially Lady Bird. Greta in the director's chair, we're in for some fun in the sun. Noah Baumbach is co-writing this, so the odds are definitely in their favor for this to be a bona fide hit. So technically showing up, released in 2022 and competed in the 2022 Cannes Film Festival, but it's getting released widely in 2023, and it looks really, really good. So I'm adding it onto my list here. Michelle Williams, who's hot off the tail of her fantastic role in Spielberg's The Fabelmans. Check out my top 5 movies of 2022 for more on that. Stars as Lizzie Carr, an artist on the verge of a career-changing art exhibition. The cast totes a bunch of other exciting names as well, such as Judd Hirsch, also a Fabelmans alum, Andre Benjamin, speaks for itself, and then the fantastic Hong Chow, I know best from her role as Elsa in The Menu. I'm a sucker for movies about artists and writers and the creative process, and anyone who has to meet a deadline and sell their work to people in order to make a living. Your art is your livelihood, and that can be a very stressful thing. Kelly Reichardt directs, and based on her filmography, she's going to deliver here again as well. Make sure to keep an eye out for this one. Wonka, the upcoming prequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, stars Timothée Chalamet as a younger Wonka in his early days as a budding chocolatier. While I'm not quite so sure Timothée Chalamet is the best choice for Wonka, he is an intriguing one, and that alone is enough to draw me to the theater. He was great in 2022's Bones and All, so if he continues that upward trajectory he had there, I'm sure he'll be great here. Paul King, who directed and wrote the Paddington movies, is helming this one. I mean, how can it not be amazing? It's gonna have Olivia Colman and Matt Lucas in there as well. There's nothing more to say.
Come with me and you'll see Wonka, the prequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Finally, and this was an immediate ad for me, we're talking about Ari Aster's upcoming movie, Beau is Afraid, starring Joaquin Phoenix. Those names together alone should be enough drawing power. While there isn't much to be known about the film at this point, and a trailer just came out January 10th, we do know it's being billed as a surrealist horror comedy. Given Aster's track record with the absolutely soul-quaking, disturbing Hereditary and the decadent, warm, slow burn of Midsommar, Beau promises to pack the same gut punch his previous movies did. Based on the trailer, I'm getting some Synecdoche, New York, Charlie Kaufman vibes, Mr. Corman from Apple TV, but it also kind of looks like he's returning to one of his earlier short films, Munchausen, which is really interesting. Also, holy hell, Nathan Lane and Amy Ryan? Are you fucking kidding me? If you haven't seen any of Ari Aster's other movies, definitely go watch those to prepare for this one. His filmmaking can be discomforting to say the least, but ultimately euphoric and cathartic, very beautiful, powerful experiences. So be prepared to cry, cringe, and get locked into the only kind of ride that he can create. And with that, we have my top 5 most anticipated movies of 2023.
If you're interested in horror movies, be sure to check out my upcoming top 5 horror movies of 2023.
Please consider liking and subscribing. Until next time, peace.